Evening, sir. Can I ask what you're doing out here?
Watering my hydrangeas.
Why? We've had a call about a break-in. Guy your height, dark jacket. You live around here?
I do. This is my house.
Must be nice. How does a man like you afford a place like this?
A man like me? You profiling me right
Sir,
now?
I'm just doing my job. You match the description.
Well, I'm a federal judge. My
This is Bodycam footage recorded on June 14, 2024 at approximately 7:47 in the evening. The officer wearing the camera is P. Morrison, badge number 4471. The footage shows a tree-lined suburban street at dusk. Street lights are beginning to glow. The camera moves forward along a sidewalk, the officer's breathing audible but steady. In the distance, a black man in his early 50s stands in front of a well-maintained two-story colonial home, watering a row of petunias along the front walkway. He's wearing a dark blue polo shirt and brown chinos. The hose sprays gently. Everything about the scene is peaceful. The officer's footsteps grow louder as he approaches. "Evening? Can I ask what you're doing out here?" The man turns, slightly surprised but composed. He holds the hose at his side, water still running. "Good evening, officer. I'm watering my flowers." "Your flowers?" "Yes, my flowers, in front of my house." Before we continue with what happens next, if you believe accountability matters and these stories need to be told, hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss a case like this. And drop a comment below telling us where in the world you're watching from. Now, back to the footage. We got a call about a possible break-in in this area. Someone suspicious. I'm going to need you to tell me why you're out here. "I just told you. I live here. I'm watering my garden." "You live here? In this house?" "Yes, officer. This is my home." There's a pause. The officer shifts his weight. The body cam captures the judge's face, calm, patient, but with a flicker of understanding crossing his eyes. "Can you prove that?" "Prove it?" "Yeah. ID, proof of residence, something." "My identification is inside. Would you like me to go get it?" No, stay right there. Don't go anywhere." The judge nods slowly. He sets the hose down, turns off the water at the spigot near the front steps, and stands with his hands visible at his sides. "All right, what exactly was reported?" "Like I said, suspicious activity, break-in. And you think I'm breaking into my own home?" "I don't know whose home it is yet, sir. That's what I'm trying to figure out." "I've told you, this is my house. I've lived here for 12 years. The officer crosses his arms, his tone shifting, less neutral, more skeptical. 12 years, okay. What's the address?" 467 Oakmont Drive. "And your name?" "Harold Winters." "Harold Winters. All right, Mr. Winters. I'm going to be straight with you. This is a pretty expensive neighborhood. Houses around here go for what? 600,000-700,000? You're telling me you own this place outright?" There it is. The judge's jaw tightens slightly. His voice remains even. "I'm telling you I live here, officer. What I paid for my home isn't relevant to this conversation. I'm just trying to understand the situation. A man like you, a man like me, standing outside in the dark, no ID, no proof. You gotta understand how this looks." "How it looks, officer? I'm standing in front of my house watering flowers at 7:45 in the evening. How exactly does that look suspicious?" The officer doesn't answer. He glances at the house, then back at the judge. "Who else lives here?" "My wife. She's inside. Would you like me to call her out?" "Not yet. Let's just keep talking. You said you've been here 12 years? "Correct." "What do you do for work?" The judge exhales slowly. You can hear it on the recording. "I'm a federal judge." There's a beat of silence. The officer almost laughs. "A federal judge? Yes. Right. And I'm the mayor." "Officer, I'm telling you the truth. My name is Harold Winters. I serve on the United States District Court for the Northern District. My credentials are inside my home. If you'd allow me to retrieve them, I already told you, stay where you are. Then I'd suggest you verify my identity through dispatch. Run my name, look me up. This can be resolved in 30 seconds. I'll decide how this gets resolved." Winters takes a slow breath. His hands remain at his sides. The camera catches the porch light reflecting in his eyes. "Officer Morrison, how'd you know my name?" "Your name tag." Officer Morrison, I need you to understand something. I've been nothing but cooperative. I've answered your questions. I've identified myself and my property. You're profiling me. You're doing it on camera, and you need to stop. The officer steps closer. His voice hardens. Profiling you? I'm doing my job. Your job is to verify a reported break-in. I've told you I live here. You've refused to verify my identity. You've made comments about my ability to afford this home. You've dismissed my profession. What exactly are you investigating at this point? I'm investigating whether or not you belong here. I've told you I do, and I'm supposed to just take your word for it? You could ask my neighbors, you could check with dispatch, you could run my name. You've done none of those things. I don't need to. I know a liar when I see one. By this point, the tension is palpable. Across the street, a porch light flickers on. A neighbor, a white woman in her 60s, steps onto her front stoop, arms folded, watching. Officer, I'm going to say this once more. I am a federal judge. My name is Harold Winters. This is my home. You are violating my civil rights. Stop this now and we can move on. Continue and you will regret it. Is that a threat? It's a warning, a professional courtesy. You don't get to warn me, pal. Step away from the house. Excuse me? I said step away, onto the sidewalk, now. I'm not leaving my property. You're making this worse for yourself. The officer reaches for his radio. Dispatch, this is Morrison. I need backup at 467 Oakmont. Uncooperative individual, possible trespassing. Uncooperative? I've answered every question. You haven't moved when I told you to. Because I'm standing on my own property. Not if you don't live here. I've told you multiple times, and I don't believe you. If you're watching this and thinking this feels unreal, understand this. Everything you're seeing is documented, undeniable, and about to cost the city $19 million. Minutes later, a second patrol car pulls up. Officer J. Caldwell steps out, a younger officer, late 20s. He approaches cautiously. What's the situation? Got a guy here claiming he owns the house, won't provide ID, won't comply. That's not accurate. I offered to retrieve my identification. He refused to let me. Sir, what's your name? Harold Winters. And you live here? Yes. Do you have ID on you? It's inside. Morrison, why don't we just let him grab it? Because he could be grabbing anything. I don't know this guy. Then look me up. Google me. Federal Judge Harold Winters, Northern District. I've been on the bench for 9 years. Officer Caldwell pulls out his phone. Morrison shoots him a look. Put that away. I'm just checking. I said put it away. Caldwell hesitates, then pockets his phone. The judge shakes his head. Unbelievable. What was that? I said this is unbelievable. You're so committed to being wrong that you won't even verify the truth. You know what? I'm done talking. Turn around. What? Turn around. Hands behind your back. You're arresting me? I'm detaining you pending investigation. On what grounds? Trespassing, obstruction, failure to comply. I haven't trespassed or obstructed anything. I've answered every question. Turn around. The judge doesn't move. His voice drops lower, colder. Officer Morrison, if you put handcuffs on me, your career is over. Do you understand me? Your career is over. Last chance? Call your supervisor right now. Call them. Caldwell, cuff him. Officer Caldwell looks uncertain. Morrison, maybe we should do it. Caldwell steps forward reluctantly. The judge extends his wrists, looking directly into the body cam. For the record, I am Harold Winters, Federal Judge, Northern District. I live at 467 Oakmont Drive. I am being unlawfully detained. I have committed no crime. I have been cooperative. This is racial profiling. This is a violation of my Fourth Amendment rights, and it is being recorded. The handcuffs click into place. Across the street, the neighbor pulls out her phone. She's filming. 2 more neighbors emerge from their homes drawn by the commotion. A white man in his 40s walks toward the scene. Hey, that's Judge Winters. What the hell are you doing? Sir, step back. That's his house. He's lived there for years. I said step back. The neighbor stops but doesn't leave. He pulls out his phone too. Thank you, David. You know these people? They're my neighbors because I live here. 4 minutes later, a supervisor arrives. Sergeant Linda Torres, late 40s, steps out of her vehicle and immediately takes in the scene. A handcuffed man, multiple neighbors filming, 2 officers looking tense. What's going on? Responded to a suspicious person call. Individual wouldn't provide ID, claimed to own the house, got confrontational. And you cuffed him? He refused to comply. Sergeant, my name is Harold Winters. I'm a federal judge. This is my home. I've been unlawfully detained. Torres stops. Her expression changes immediately. Did you say Harold Winters? Yes. Judge Winters? Yes, ma'am. Torres turns to Morrison, her voice tight. Take the cuffs off, now. Sarge, he didn't. I said now. Morrison unlocks the handcuffs. Winters rubs his wrists. Judge Winters, I apologize. There's been a misunderstanding. A misunderstanding? Sergeant, I was handcuffed in front of my own home, after identifying myself, after explaining my profession, after offering to provide credentials. Your officer refused to verify any of it. I understand, and do you? Because what I experienced wasn't a misunderstanding. It was profiling. It was bias, and it was captured on that camera. Torres looks at Morrison's body cam, then back at the judge. Sir, if you'd like to file a complaint. I don't want to file a complaint, Sergeant. I'm going to file a lawsuit against Officer Morrison, against this department, against the city. Judge, please, I'm done talking. You have my information. You know where to find me. I'll be inside my home, the one I own. Have a good evening. He turns, walks up his front steps, and disappears inside. The door closes firmly. The neighbors stand silent, phones still recording. Torres looks at Morrison. Give me your body cam, right now. And that's where the recording ends. Within 48 hours, the body cam footage was flagged for internal affairs review. What they found was damning. Dispatch records showed the initial call, a so-called suspicious person report, came from an anonymous neighbor who later refused to be identified. The description given was vague. A black male, unknown, standing in front of a house. No mention of forced entry, no signs of a break-in, no corroborating evidence. Morrison never ran the judge's name through any system. He never verified the address. He never asked for backup identification from Winters' wife, who was home the entire time. He never consulted with neighbors, 3 of whom would later provide sworn statements confirming the federal judge as a 12-year resident. A review of Morrison's service record revealed 4 prior complaints of racially biased conduct. 2 were dismissed. 2 resulted in verbal reprimands. None led to retraining or suspension. Legal analysts who reviewed the footage noted multiple constitutional violations. Unlawful detention without probable cause. Refusal to verify exculpatory information. Use of coded racial language, phrases like, "a man like you." Escalation in the absence of any crime or resistance. One civil rights attorney described it as a textbook case of Fourth Amendment abuse, and it's all on video. 3 weeks later, Winters filed a federal civil rights lawsuit against Officer Morrison, the police department, and the city. The complaint cited racial profiling, unlawful detention, abuse of authority, emotional distress, and violations of his constitutional rights. The city's legal team initially fought the case. They argued that Morrison acted in good faith based on the dispatch call. They claimed the detention was brief and nonviolent. They suggested the judge had been uncooperative. Then, the footage was released to the public. The response was immediate. Local news picked it up. National outlets followed. The video went viral. tens of millions of views. The comments sections filled with outrage. Community groups organized protests. City council meetings were flooded with demands for accountability. Officer Morrison was placed on administrative leave. Officer Caldwell, who hesitated but ultimately complied, received a formal reprimand. Sergeant Torres was cleared, having intervened as soon as she recognized the error. 6 months later, after mounting pressure, Morrison was terminated. The lawsuit proceeded. 18 months after the incident, the city reached a settlement with Judge Harold Winters, $19 million. It became one of the largest civil rights settlements in the state's history. The terms included a public apology from the police chief, mandatory anti-bias training for all officers, updated protocols for verifying resident identity, and the establishment of a civilian oversight board. At a press conference following the settlement, Winters spoke briefly. "This was never about the money. It was about accountability. What happened to me happens to too many people who don't have a federal judge's credentials or a neighbor with a camera. I had both, and I was still handcuffed in my own yard. This settlement sends a message. Bias has consequences. Abuse of power has consequences, and no badge makes you immune from the law you're supposed to uphold." He declined further comment and returned to the bench 3 weeks later. Officer Morrison never spoke publicly about the incident. His termination was upheld after an internal appeal. He has not worked in law enforcement since. The Bodycam footage is now used in police training programs across the country as an example of how implicit bias, unchecked authority, and a refusal to verify facts can escalate a routine call into a constitutional crisis. The case remains a stark reminder. Power without accountability is dangerous. Assumptions without evidence are reckless, and sometimes the man watering his flowers is exactly who he says he is: a homeowner, a neighbor, and a federal judge. The $19 million settlement didn't just compensate Judge Winters for what he endured. It paid for a lesson the city and the country should never have needed. Because when power goes unchecked, even a man watering his flowers can become a suspect.